there's a number of migration services that we offer. They're kind of related. There's two sets of tools. There's Martin's Azure DevOps migration tools, which is on GitHub and available for people to use, but we help people use it. We do it for customers when they don't want to learn it themselves. So that's the more targeted migration tool. So I want to split stuff, I want to merge stuff. So that's that actual moving individual work items around. That's what I want to do. Then that's one of our services. The other one is a kind of managed import into Azure DevOps. Microsoft have a tool called the Azure DevOps Data Migration Tool. And that data migration tool takes the whole thing. So you might have if you're familiar with how TFS, I always call on-prem TFS and the server Azure DevOps just to avoid confusion, right? I know they renamed the server to Azure DevOps, but Azure DevOps Server and Azure DevOps Service, and it's just confusing, TFS, right? So TFS has multiple databases hanging off it, and those databases are the things that you take and put up to Azure DevOps. So if you have 500 projects in one database, you're taking the whole thing. But you can't just take it because there are things you could do to your TFS that are not allowed in Azure DevOps. There are things that could have happened over the years to your TFS that are not allowed in Azure DevOps. And there are things, I think I'm going to double down on things you could have changed in TFS that you're not allowed to do in Azure DevOps. Like increase the max attachment size is one. There's loads of them. So Microsoft provide a bunch of tools to validate your environment to make sure it will work before you migrate it up, and it has to meet the validation before it will go to Azure DevOps. But how do you do that? You have to get onto the latest version, then you have to run the tools, then you have to fix all of the stuff that it highlights, and then you've got to go. So we provide a managed service for moving your entire on-prem Azure DevOps / TFS environment, code, repos, builds, everything up to Azure DevOps. Or we also provide a service where you want to move pieces of things within that context around and consolidate and change process template. And, we want to move from Scrum to Agile, or our bespoke one to Agile, or our Scrum one to our bespoke one. All of those. If you want to do things piecemeal, we can help with that. If you want to do the whole thing, we help you manage that process up to the cloud.